going on, everybody? That is Tommy. I'm Sean. This is Phantom Empire, and we're back. Man, it's crazy to think after all this time, man. We're back reviewing episodes of a TV show that takes place in the supernatural universe. The Winchesters, episode 3, is in the books, man. How you doing, my dude?
I am doing pretty good, I woke up this morning, I was like, "Ooh, you know what? Winchester Day. Let's see if I can watch it." And it's not there. So, I had to wait till I got home to queue it up and get it going. And after a rough day, I finally got home, got to pull that on. Let me tell you, I needed it. I needed it. It did some good for me, buddy. How about you?
So I like really liked the pilot. I think my biggest knock on the pilot is I thought the monster looked terrible. Other than that, the pilot hit for me every way it possibly could. I mean, is it supernatural per se? No, not exactly, but it shouldn't be. There's definitely supernatural blueprints and fingerprints all over it. And then episode 2 was a mixed bag for me. It was like, okay, this would probably be in my lower end of supernatural episodes. And it's like just okay TV. I thought there was some good parts of last episode, and I thought there was some not so good parts of the last episode. And then it suffered the massive ratings drop from episode 1 to episode 2, like horrifically bad. But then it turned out that so did the entire channel, and it was still the highest rated show on the CW that night. So kudos to them. You avoid any cancellation rumors when you're still the top show on that channel on that night. So, and then episode 3, I didn't know what to expect, man. I didn't, and I thought that it was shot very well. The cinematography was very crisp, probably more crisp than I'm used to seeing in a supernatural show. Um, and the episode was a banger, man. It felt like an old school supernatural episode, but instead of Sam and Dean, it's John and Mary in the gang, and we get a lot of plot elements laid out. We get complex relationship dynamics at front and center. We get the is it Rowena? Isn't it Rowena? I'm now in the camp that I don't think it is, but maybe it's younger Rowena. All in all, dude, this episode was real. This episode was so good that I think I might actually like it better than the pilot. But the problem is, I enjoyed the Indiana Jones stuff at the beginning of the pilot, and then I mean, who didn't enjoy Jensen Ackles at the end of the pilot? I mean, my my kid is named after him. um, yeah, I mean, be pretty hard to top that pilot. But dude, this was a strong episode, and right back being a happy camper again.
You know, I don't know if I want to say I liked it more than the pilot, just because I may have liked them for different reasons. But I'll definitely say that, totally agree with you. We're seeing these relationship dynamics build. We're seeing uh, characters reveal, like, well, this is, my ex, we can presume fiance for John. And then of course, he tucked that ring back into his back pocket once he got it back. He hid it because he didn't want Mary to see it at the time. But as we see things end with that episode, she finally takes a break and goes see a movie, but it's not with John. So we're seeing the beginning of some of that could lead up to like a fight of some kind. Who knows, right? Let me ask you this: are you keeping up with all the character names? Because I'm not. I'm having a hard time doing that.
John, Mary, Carlos, Ada, Millie, who was not in this episode. Um, but I always forget the other girl's name. Um, yeah. Anyway, most of them I got.
Yeah, that's. I mean, that's a struggle with me for any series, right? Like, if we were to view Andor, a couple of them I'd have some issues with, but I'll probably catch on eventually.
Latika. So,
Gotcha.
yeah. I shouldn't have gone to the IMDb page because now I've already seen a spoiler. Um,
How is there a spoiler on the IMDb
Somebody
page?
that's in one of the episodes that we haven't seen yet, so that's a little frustrating. Anywho, um, yeah, no, I'm really enjoying the cast so far, man. This episode just felt classic Supernatural, somewhere in those first 3 seasons. Uh, I really, really enjoyed it, and I gotta give them kudos, even though they filmed it in a, a storage locker area. Um, I thought that the monster of the week this week actually looked half decent. It was passable for me, where I thought in previous weeks, maybe they were a little cheap.
Maybe they were not, you know, measuring up to the Sean standard. Is that what you're saying?
The Sean standard of monster. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's valid. I gotta tell you, man, though, the more and more I watch this show, which is now 3 episodes, and I've seen 2 of the 3 episodes twice, um, John, even though he's wearing the same jacket Dean wears in the later seasons of Supernatural, I think Dean actually makes a point of saying, "I found Dad's old jacket." Um, I think maybe that I'm headcanon in that and putting that in my own headcanon. If that does happen in Supernatural and you guys are watching this right now, comment down below in the comment section. We would love to know what you thought. And just in general, what did you think of the episode? Are you for it? Are you against it? It seems like it's about 50-50 on the people that have commented on the channel so far in terms of where they are on the show. The fan base seems a little more positive than I thought they would be just in general. But what do you think of the Winchesters 3 episodes in? Comment down below. And don't forget, click that like button. Helps us out. Or slash it. Slash the like button. Slash it to bits. Um, John feels so much like Sam in this show. It is like this episode, like especially had massive Jared Padalecki vibes, and it was almost like it was punching me in the face.
Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely agree with that. We've mentioned it a little bit in the past. If we got to assign one of the parents to Sam or Dean, it's definitely Mary as the dean of the two, and John is Sam. And the reference, it goes all the way back with Dean's interactions with Sam. Maybe Sam didn't get along too well with John because they were just too alike, right? You know, they say opposites attract. Well, if you're not opposite, they're repelling each other. And I mean, that's the whole basis that Supernatural starts off on. There's this rift that already exists between Sam and, Dean and John. And it's complex, right? And we're seeing some of the same stuff hashed out in this season, this episode, with Mary. As she's struggling with the prospect of, well, what comes next for me if I get out of hunting? What do I do with my life? I never thought about what I could do after. I was never able, never allowed to think of doing anything other than hunting. I was just part of uh, what was it, the Monster Club, kill the monsters and all that. So it's it's just the nostalgia. It can shake you, right? And you can draw these connections. They've done a real good job with knitting some of this together with supernatural lore. Or maybe it's just us, the supernatural fans, who are going behind the scenes and knitting stuff together on our own, right?
I think they've done a really good job of blending it all together thus far. It's very early still. 10 more episodes to go in season 1. And I believe only 7 or 8 of them have even been filmed yet. So, I wonder if next week is our current hiatus. I'll say this, or because remember these shows go on hiatus. I've been kind of iffy on the actress portraying Mary throughout the first 2 episodes. I thought she was honestly the weak link in the cast, and I thought it was showing in some of the scenes. And I didn't have that worry about her at all in this episode. I thought that, and I'm pretty sure they filmed these ones in order too. I think you can see her getting more comfortable in her own skin in this episode. And I don't think that's an acting choice. I think that's just the performance coming through a little more clear and less glued to the pages, in my opinion. That's how it felt to me. Where were you with that?
I haven't had any real strong complaints. I've felt pretty comfortable with the way Mary's been portrayed so far. You know, it's it's just one of those things, and it's going to bother me throughout this whole series until we know how it ends. And even then, I might hate it. It's just how are we going to go from point A to point B, and then back to point A of the beginning of Supernatural, where, as we know, Mary knew. She still knew. She knew what was going on. She knew what was in the world. John did. And then John, of course, had to work his way back up. He had to, might explain why he became a good hunter, right? Because he already did it. He knew the business.
Even though, obviously he's got to not know it at some point, but
Well, that's what I'm saying. It could have been this
it comes to him.
subconscious,
Yeah.
subconscious stuff linking all back together. Um, so it's questionable,
I'm
and that's a whole nother thing I keep coming back to with this series. Like, if they introduce these other characters again, like a younger Bobby Singer, he's gonna have to forget about it. So
That's just Bobby going into the movie with her. It doesn't look anything like Bobby, but
trust me, that thought did not for this character in particular, but that thought did occur to me. Like, ooh, that would
they're up
be
there in
interesting.
heaven in the supernatural universe, and Sam and Dean are at John and Mary's for dinner, and Bobby comes in and he looks at Dean. Who's your daddy?
I mean, hey, it would check out. I mean, you would think John would have showed Bobby a picture of Mary at some point or another, but it would have checked out, right? If he just never met John.
Yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see how all that plays out. I think the temptation to use Bobby and Rufus is going to be too high for them to not pop up at some point in time. Just hope they cast those roles properly and appropriately.
Hmm.
Ratings update though. I just seen the ratings are in from last night, and it's up again. It's not as high as episode 1, but it's higher than episode 2. So congratulations on that one. Looks like it's higher by like more than 100,000 people too. So
When
and that,
they pull those ratings, are they just getting the live streaming from the CW like on the network, or are they pulling like streaming from
you
the
don't get
CW?
streaming until after, like when episode 1 debuted, it came out with a 0.78. But as a week and a half or so passed, they got their total viewers number up from that episode, and it ended up being 1.29 million. So
That's fair. That's fair.
yeah, no, it's a positive sign, and it's good because it's an episode that is really like man, if there's a supernatural fan that's on the fence with this show, I can understand why episode 2 might not hit for you, but episode 1 and episode 3 have been like, it's very clear these guys know what they're doing, in my opinion anyway, but they also have to mix it up a bit as well.
Leading up to the show, I've asked a few people like, well, you gonna check this out? Nah, yeah. I'm like, I understand. I'll probably check it out anyway, but this isn't what I asked for. This isn't the spinoff I wanted. And I still try to find some Supernatural fans, and I'll be like, hey, you like Supernatural, right? Coworker, she said, yeah, but I only saw up to like season 8. And I'm like, okay, well, you probably shouldn't watch this show. Maybe you should go finish Supernatural first, just to be safe. Just to be safe. So I don't think there's any reason in particular why you have to right now, but I think they could just as easily pack a spoiler in there down the line that would ruin a good, big, major element of the show. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. I also think people that are waiting on Tom Welling need to cool their jets a bit because I don't think he was a part of any of the first 6 episodes of filming or so. Like, I don't think he's filmed yet. I think he's getting ready to film, so they're gonna take some time getting into the Samuel Campbell stuff. Um, what's your take on the Akrita, those friggin' buggy looking things? I hate bugs, I hate spiders, but I gotta be honest, the CG on that monster, I didn't think was terrible for a CW show.
That was interesting to say the least. I Other than Supernatural, I'm not a huge CW follower. I've seen some first couple seasons, I think full seasons of like Smallville, but I haven't seen everything. I haven't seen all of Supergirl. I haven't seen The Flash. I haven't seen. So I don't have that point of reference, but I can definitely say that we're seeing an improvement from some of the stuff we saw in Supernatural, some of what we saw in episode 1, episode 2. It's better. Would I bank on it that we're going to see all of our future monsters and whether CGI or otherwise, or a blend, be that good? Not necessarily, right? I mean, you said it in the past. Hopefully, they rely on the lighting changes where it could help them out. Cut a few corners, cut a couple bucks here and there.
I thought lighting helped him in this episode too, being honest.
Yeah, absolutely. What about that? You were talking about bug creature. What about that scorpion thing at the end or whatever the hell that was moving around? Right.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. That was
Oh, okay.
that's the Akrita. So, um,
That wasn't the same monster from the episode, was it?
no, no, the thing at the end, I think, is the Akrita.
Okay. Okay.
Shown them a couple of times from a distance at the very end of the episode. So, um, yeah, I think it's the Akrita.
I thought we were calling like the Akrita like as a faction, not these insects.
They're these alien insect things because they also made reference that one of them is in a human body, which is obviously that girl we see who most of the internet for over a week was speculating that that's Rowena, and now I'm not so sure, man. Where do you fall with it?
I think it's Rowena. I think they're throwing around way too many witch references and witch talk to not make it Rowena. Definitely a younger Rowena. And I'll just throw this out there because I said it to you. I'm looking at this actress come on screen like at first. So am I seeing Ruth Connell or am I not? Because she may be an older woman, but she looks pretty good for being an older woman, right? So I wouldn't be surprised what a little not Hollywood, right? Canadian magic, I guess. They are filming this in Canada, aren't they?
No, Louisiana.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
Louisiana magic,
no, sorry,
Popeyes.
New Orleans, which
Okay.
is in. Wait, help me out with my American geography. By the way, Canadian. If you guys didn't notice, Toronto Raptors hat. Help me out here. New Orleans is where?
Pretty sure it's Louisiana.
That's what I thought. Okay, so yeah, Louisiana. Didn't get everything wrong there. I'm taking it so far though, man. If I had to score this episode out of 5 supernatural stars, I'd give it like a solid, 3.75. I think it was very, very good.
3.75.
Yeah, I don't know.
You hater. Ugh. No, I agree. That's a good rating. I mean,
Oh, how dare you agree with me?
we haven't rated the other two numerically, so it's hard to throw
Okay,
that
well, if
number
we were
out.
to rate the other two for the first time here at the end of this video, I would say episode 1 would be 3.8 supernatural stars. And the middle one would be 2
3.
2.75 supernatural stars.
Okay.
How about you?
Okay.
You got 3
So
as the middle one.
are we going like the scale of like the Chicago not spinoff all the way up to like Scooby Natural? Is that what we're doing here?
Oh god. I would have signed up for Scooby Natural, like an ongoing series. I'm sure Jensen and Jared would still do it too. But yeah, no.
0, no, 1 to 5, right, or whatever. I would give this like the pilot, that is. Yeah, like I could easily see the pilot coming in as a 3.5, 3.75. It was pretty good. It was. I have a tendency to really just use full numbers and such, but that gets difficult, right? We're missing when we're only doing 1 through 5.
You end
If
up going like, oh, well, I gave this episode a 4, but this episode also is not a 5, so then it has to be a 4, and then it just doesn't work.
Nope. Yeah, I ran into that. I ran into that issue a
The
lot. So
system, Tommy, don't break the system.
episode 2, 2.75 to 3. I can get on board with that.
Yeah. Stealing my answers, you mother canucker.
I said to 3. You didn't say to 3 because you're a fucking hater.
You know what would really, I'm not expecting it, but a way this show could really gain momentum is if next week's episode is another banger too. So you go, hey, 3 out of the 4 episodes were really fucking good. Because if you revert back to episode 2, and again, this is subjective to my own thoughts, if you put out another episode similar to 2 rather than more similar to 1 and 3, then I think you're back in the mixed bag category. And you're going, half of what we get is pretty good, and the other half is just kind of eh. I would love to see them nail it again next week, and really build some momentum.
When do you think we're going to get some more major plot development? Like maybe they'll take a break from the monster of the week and give us a glimpse into our primary antagonist for the season.
Well, I mean, they gave us that glimpse every episode so far, so it's the Accretan, the girl.
A bigger glimpse, maybe, is what I'm looking
I'm gonna guess
for.
next episode, because next episode is basically your quarter way mark. You're 4 episodes into a 13 episode season, so.
Because I think that's about the time they started bringing in Meg for episode or season 1 of Supernatural, right? They started letting her show up a good bit more.
Yeah, I think we're gonna find out soon here a little more about the overarching story to the episode. Man, this was a lot of fun. Short and sweet, but fun. If you guys want to support the channel on another level, you can do so over at Patreon, patreon.com/Phantom Empire. We got a bunch of new tiers over there and new shows, and one of them Tommy and I do. It's our new. There are 2 small, basic Patreon tiers underneath that, but our main Patreon tiers start at $5. You get your Patreon, your name in the Patreon credits of each video, access to the Fandom Face-Off show where we pit 2 fandoms against one another, where it's either select characters or the media in general against one another and see who comes out on top. And then a bonus episode of the Moose Too Far, a Star Wars podcast, each and every month when you sign up for that. And I mentioned that tier specifically right now because it is where Tommy and I are going to be doing our additional content over on Fandom Face Off. So probably see the first episode of that in the next couple of weeks, and we appreciate the support. Tommy, any closing thoughts? Where can everybody find you at?
Yeah, I mean, we got Star Wars stuff coming out right now. I know
I need to catch
you're
up.
gonna go. You're gonna go catch up, watch Andor from earlier today. Delve in Tales of the Jedi. I'm gonna go watch at least a little bit of that. It's a pretty good day to be a Star Wars fan, I'd say. So I'm looking forward to talking some of that as time goes on. Find me. I'm here at T-Brad. Yeah. 1650. Fuck, man. Fuck. It's been a good one. It's been a very busy day, but this has been a good way to just unwind, chill, talk about the world of Supernatural. That's where a lot of our stuff began, right?
And it's going to continue to go. Surprises in store as we go here, as we try to finalize certain things. And I'm stoked. I'm excited. Supernatural's back in some form or another. For Tommy, I'm Sean, and we'll see you again. Keep on plugging. to that wayward roadhouse.